Hey, Greg here for Party Foul. Got Scott behind the camera, and Dave's painting over there. But I'm going to talk about Una the Sky Hunter, or Una 2, or Tuna, as people call her. And in this video, I'm going to talk about her the list's speed and the sort of scenario pressure and attrition pressure it can put you under, and how that interacts with the feet. So I'm going to go down and I kind of show you how fast it gets up the table, how much pressure that's going to put you under, and then the additional pressure of what the feet's going to mean to you on probably turn 2 when she feeds on you. Okay, so we're going to go down. Alright, so here we go. This is my Una list. There has been a bit of variation, but I kind of find I played them with a number of griffins, ranging from, I think I had 5 in my first one, maybe 6, and then now I have 8. And I think it's kind of works better currently with more griffins that you have. All these griffins are Scarsfeld griffins, and there's a razor ring griffin over here, but you probably won't see too many of those. Important thing about the Scarsfeld griffin is it has stealth and it has extended control range. That means that it can be 28 inches away from Una and still be in her control range. So it can still be forced, can still be healed, and more importantly, it can still benefit from the feet. So, on my first turn, the birds are speed 7, so they're going to run 14 inches up the table. Depending on what the enemy's threat is and that type of thing, but with stealth, unless you have stuff that sees through stealth, it's probably not going to be a factor. And even if you do, unless you have a lot of guns that see through stealth, they're still going to probably come at you full bore. And up they come. They're going to be on the 21-inch line. On feet turn, I'll tell you about her feet right now. I'll read it right off the card just so you know. Friendly faction models with flight, currently in Una's control range, get +2 speed for 1 turn. Additionally, while in Una's control range, friendly faction light war beasts, that's just light ones, with flight, cannot be targeted by melee attacks. And it lasts for 1 round. And that feat thing about not being able to target by melee attacks obviously also applies to free strikes. If you have gunfighter, obviously you can make your free strikes with guns and stuff like that, but that's also pretty small. So you can see, after Una goes up, the list is way up the table, and on feet turn, they're speed 7 +2 for the feet and a 1/2 inch melee range. Assuming I can't get Hunter's Mark, that's going to threat 12.5 inches. So that is almost onto your AD line, you can kind of see. So it puts a lot of pressure up the table very quickly. It has stealth, so it's going to have limited sort of reprisal for being up the table so far. In addition to that, she has wind wall. So if you do have guns that are long range and they're not magical, she can put elements of her battle group that don't have stealth completely within 3 inches of her, and then non-magical range attacks automatically miss those models. You can still clip them with blast damage and stuff like that. So that's the kind of the speed that it can come up. With the feet, so if you have your choices, if you're going to be defensive and not wander stuff into the bird's threat range, then you're giving up a lot of table space, and that means you're giving up a lot on scenario, and she can try to just jam you out of scenario and score CPs. Another option that she can have is that if you're back out of her threat range, she can just pop her feet. The birds can now run 18 inches. So 7 +2 is 9, doubled is 18 inches. So they can run and probably engage into your deployment zone. Yeah, so they can go engage into your deployment zone on the top of 2. So you kind of you're forced into a situation where you have to bring stuff up that the birds are going to be threatening, and you know that they're going to be immune to melee attacks next turn. Another thing that they can kind of do with the feet is if you move up and you kind of like jam dudes all in here to try to protect your heavies and that type of thing. I'll just move them up a little bit more. The birds have flight, and with the feet they ignore free strikes, so they can just run if they can't manage to charge. And obviously he's close enough, they could charge. They can just run and engage, and on average, because I'll talk about that in the other video, but on average, a bird with primal or hand of fate can kill a heavy easily. 2 birds, primal and hand of fated, can kill a colossal, an unbuffed colossal. So it threats pretty hard. So that's sort of the speed that it can come up at the table, and that's something that can take you kind of by surprise, and you need to have a plan when you're deploying as to what the heck you're going to do, especially if the Una player has first turn. If you ever have the choice, regardless of scenario or terrain, go first against this list, just because you can at least position, and you're not going to necessarily lose as much table space and as much scenario presence against it. So it's going to come at you very fast. You're going to have very little time to react. You have to have a plan going in, and it can't rely a lot on melee attacks. If you have a choice, you should play a list that has some controlling feat, like say Haley 2 or something like that, so at least if she feats, you can't do much with it under Haley's feat, or that you have guns that preferably more stealth that are boosted, because the Griffins are all defense 15, they're hard to hit. They are only armor 13, so they don't like getting hit, but it usually takes, say, like 3 or 4 unboosted attacks to kill one. 2 boosted attacks would probably kill one from something, but you do have to hit that 15. And under her feet, no melee attacks. So strong scenario presence, strong forward board presence forces you to react extremely early in the game. You're not going to have sort of like a turn to run up in position and another turn to start jockeying for position after that for the further part in the game. The game is on as soon as you deployed. So that's a speed that you have to be aware of. Look out for our next video on Una.